Hello everybody, thank you for joining me again for another beautiful you video for the beautiful you class. And this particular video is to make this really pretty double Z fold card. I like this one. It's just a happy kind of a card, isn't it? It's a happy colour, it's happy sentiments, everything's happy. You do like happy. Right, so stop cavilling. This is what we're going to make. Now, you are going to need, obviously, your stamp set. First of all, let's do the envelope. Now, I have a piece of Peekaboo Peach envelope paper that measures 9 7/8 by 9 7/8. Okay. You need to pop it into your envelope punch board, line up at the 4 1/8 mark, just there. Be careful because when you score this one, it is going to come off the edge of your board a bit. So line up at 4 1/8, punch, score your line, and just be a bit careful towards the end. Oops, because you'll come off like I just did. However, there's just enough line there so you can see. So you can line up nicely, punch and score, and punch and score. Whoop, came off again. But line up, punch and score. Move to the back of your envelope punch board and just round off those corners, like that, just to get rid of the little pointy bits. Alright, whoops, okay, pop that in there up the right way so it doesn't fall out. Get rid of my little bits because I don't need those. Now let's just fold this envelope in. You don't need to use a bone folder for these folds. Envelope paper is so easy to use. It's a nice weight, heavy enough that it makes a good envelope, but light enough that you can use it really easily. Now, when you fold up that bottom flap, watch where you put your adhesive. You don't want to go past this mark here, because if you do, where's my snail? There it is. If you do, you're going to be sticking your envelope together back to front rather than making a pocket. Okay, there you go, no, like that. All right, so there's our envelope done, nice and easy. Now for your card, there are a lot of layers going on this card, so I've written down all the measurements for you, which you're going to see very shortly on your screen, because you've got the main card, you've got the middle Z bit, and then you've got all these layers in there as well. Okay, so write them down if you're doing this on one of the video only classes. If you just write them down when they come up on your screen in just a tick so that you've got them all. Right, let me talk you through what you're going to need then. You will want, first of all, let's move these bits around the right way. Okay, you have got a piece of Whisper White cardstock that is 12 inches by 5 inches. That is scored at 4 1/4 and 6 1/2. You've then got another bit of Whisper White, which is 10 3/4 inches by 4 inches. And this one is scored at 5 7 1/4. Ooh, can't pick them up. You've then got 2 pieces of Designer Series paper from the In Colour paper stack. And these 2 pieces are 4 3/4 by 4 and 4 3/4 by 5 1/4. We've then got envelope paper, which I've actually used as a backing paper. You can see in the back there. So that's one of our layers. So your envelope paper, you want 3 3/4 by 4 3/4 and 3 3/4 by 3 1/2. And then finally your white panels, which measure 3.5 by 4.5 and 3.5 by 4.25. Now I've already stuck my white panels to my envelope paper to create my layer. I'm then going to stamp straight onto that. If you're a bit cautious with stamping, or a little bit uncertain with stamping, stamp first before you stick your layers together, like I have. All right, it's just a little bit safer and you don't end up wasting cardstock if you get it wrong. Okay, right, let's put that over there for a sec. Let's put our card together. So we need some snail, we need a bone folder. I'm just going to fold and burnish my score lines on, whoops, dear, getting in a knot, both my pieces of cardstock. Now, because this is a double Z fold, these folds are actually concertinaed. If I show you this one from the top, can you see? So there's your Z shape, and you've got one going one way, one going the other way. Okay, so when we lay our card out, you want to go that shape. All right, so you have your, on your wider piece of Whisper White, you have your narrower panel, your narrower panel on your left, the larger panel on your right, and there's your zigzag. Okay, so we do this one first. We're going to pop the Designer Series paper on, so it will fit. What do I put? Oh, there it is. Take the end off. The Designer Series paper is going to fit with a little margin around the edge of 1/8. So line it up nice and straight ish. Obviously you could be really particular and use a ruler. I'm lazy. Don't use a ruler. Maybe I should though sometimes, because I look at some of my cards that I've, oh, typical that I've run out of snail. I look at some of my cards that I've made and it's kind of like, oh my gosh, that is so wonky. Looks ridiculous. Oh, right, let's use a fast fuse instead, seeing as I've got that to hand. Hopefully I won't run out of this. Oh, no, that's got in a knot. Oh dear me, we're not doing very well here. What else have I got on my desk? There we are, Tombow. That'll do this. Let's put a bit of Tombow on there instead. Dear me, didn't do very well with the tape on that one, did I? Right, whoops, ran the wrong way. Pop that on there. Again, make it nicely lined up. Stick that down. Now your other panel, this time, so we've got small panel, big panel. This time we want big panel, small panel. Fold again in a zigzag. All right. And we are going to line it up by putting one side down at a time. All right, so we want it so that you've got an even edge going around the outside there. So I'm going to put this panel on first, because on this smaller side I'm actually going to put the adhesive all over. I'm going to have to turn it round, sorry, so I can line it up properly. So I'm lining up so I've got equal edges, top, bottom and this side. Don't worry about the other bit, that's not important at the moment. Just line up that panel first. Okay, now before I do the other side, I'm not going to be sticking this side on just yet. Okay, I'm going to keep it flat. Whoops, I'm going to straighten it up. Oh, one of the advantages of using Tombow, look at that. You can move it around just a smidge. Gives you a tiny bit of wriggle room. You don't get a lot, but you do get a little bit. But I'm going to leave it flat so that I can stick my panels on top. Now before I stick them on, this time I will stamp them. Where's the stamps have gone? Okay, we're going to be using Dancing Lady. So take that one out, and I'm also going to use the, where's it gone? Live, Laugh, Love. Now I want to line this up on my card, and I'm going to save myself some stamping time. I'm actually going to line them both up so that I can stamp them both together. So Lady is going to go there. Now what's the straight bit on here? The puddles at the bottom. That's okay. So she can go about there. Now you might be looking at my stamp here and thinking, wow, that looks really tatty. What have you done? I've actually trimmed a corner, and I've trimmed it there as well, because sometimes you find if there's too much rubber going around the edge, you tend to get a halo almost every time you stamp, and it just makes it difficult. So by trimming a bit of the rubber off, it just keeps it a bit easier. So that'll go there, and then that's going to go sort of fitting in to that gap, I think. Yeah, kind of fitting in like that. Oops, straighten that up. Now I'm going to use one of my big blocks. This is E block, because I can put this right over the whole thing. See, makes it nice and easy. Everything's in the right place because I've lined it up, put it all on the block. So now I don't have to worry about lining everything up. All I need to worry about is inking up and getting it onto my piece of card in the right place. So I'm just going to stand up so I can see what I'm doing, because it's quite a big stamp, so it's easier if you stand up when you're using the bigger block, so you can place it properly. Well, that's what I think anyway. So I'm going to pop that down just there. Give it a nice firm press, no rocking, otherwise you end up making your words go all funny, as I found out the other day. Well, actually no, it wasn't the other day, it was on one of the other videos for this class. I gave it a bit too much of a rock and I ended up with this kind of very strange looking thing going on. Right, there we go. See, nicely laid out. Now I've already cut and stamped the dress and the hat, so I'm going to stick these in place. Oopsie daisy. You won't find me fussy cutting very often on my videos because it's not my favourite pastime at all. However, paper piecing, which is what this technique is called, with this stamp set is so easy. The lines are so bold. You don't have to be too particular how you cut, and you can get a really good finish really easily. Brilliant. Without having to worry too much about how you're cutting. I tried to cut another stamp for one of my other classes the other day. Oh dear, I gave up in the end and changed the design because it was just driving me nuts. Right, pop your hat on, little lady. There we go. All right, so she's now dressed. And I can pop this onto my card. So this is going to go over this side again with about 1/8 of an inch as my border. Can you see how those layers have come together now? Works really well, doesn't it? Like that. I like that. Oops, let's put the lid on before I smudge something. And then on my other piece, I'm going to do Happy Birthday Gorgeous. And this one will just go on to one of the smaller blocks. Now, what's this? This is a C block, this one. And I'm just going to stamp this in the middle of this piece. Now, the way I've designed this card, and I showed my husband, he said, oh, well, it's very nice, but where are you supposed to write? Because your automatic reaction, if you like, with a card like this is that you should write here. But there's not a lot of room, especially where I've put flowers and things as well. But it's fine because look at all that space you've got on the back. You could write a story if you wanted to. Quite easily, couldn't you? Right, let's I'll get a bit carried away there. Put some adhesive onto this piece and very good using my left hand. Let's do it with the right hand. There we go. Oh dear, I'm not very good with it at all. Look, it's not lining up. Whoopsie daisy. There we are. Right. Okay, so now we can go ahead and stick on our flowers. Okay, now with the flowers, hang on, let me get the punch. I'll show you. I've used this punch. Can't remember what it's called. Hold on, I'll tell you what it's called. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me just get my catalogue out. Where are we? Punches. Punches. It is called the Blossom Punch. I know it was something to do with flowers. All right, this is the one we're going to use, and what I've done is I've done a big one, 1, 2, 3, 4 smaller ones. So I've already made these ones, and I've curled all the edges and broken down the papers to give it that nice sort of whimsical, rough look. I'll show you in the video that we're going to do that matches this card. I'll show you how to do that so you know what you're doing with them. But for this particular video, I've already done it. Where's my paper tool? So I'm going to pop one there. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'm going to put them all on because I've done all the little ones and already mounted the diamonds in the middle, and I've actually used the biggest diamonds from our rhinestone pack to do this. So they're all going on there. Whoop, like that. I'm going to put one there and one down there. Now they will get a bit flattened, I know. Especially if you're going to post a card like this, it will flatten them a little bit. But it doesn't matter. Look, they soon curl back up again. And they look quite nice when they're curled up because, as I said, all the layers separate. Makes it look all pretty. Right, now we just need to stick both of them together. Now you will see when it's laid flat like this, it's slightly too short to meet up. The reason for that is because what we actually want to do, whoops, is stick it, oh dear, hang on, there we go. We want to stick it so that it actually sits with an edge so that when you open it, can you see how you've actually got that gap? So it won't actually lay flat. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to put a bit of adhesive just on part of that side because I don't want the whole lot stuck on. And then we can line it up. Obviously make sure you're straight. Let's turn it over that way. Smush it down a bit. There we go. Alright. So now, when the card is open, you've still got that lovely zigzag going. Alright. And there is our finished card. I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to check your other videos. There's your, oh, we got 2 now, look. 2 cards, 1 card, 2 cards. So don't forget to check out the other videos, and I will be back again very soon showing you how to make your next project in your class. See you soon.